Oh boy, today we are recapping a busy day one of free agency. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today I'll be recapping day one of free agency. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that you can follow me on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. You can subscribe to the Clips channel, and also don't forget to call in. And last but not least, check out the Patreon. $5 a month gets you bonus New York Jets content. We have player cards available for all free agent signs so far, and that's going to continue to update throughout the free agency, as well as other bonus New York Jets content. This is a celebratory day, and it's almost St. Patrick's Day, so we're going to celebrate on this video. We're going to have a little JMO in celebration, but it's a good day. I'm excited. There's a lot to like. Laken Tomlinson signed. Jets finally have a tight end for the first time in forever. You bring back Braxton Berrios at a reasonable cost. You re-sign Tevin Coleman. Cheers to you, Joe Douglas. Oh, that's good. Good day. Just overall good day. We will start out with Laken Tomlinson, who was the first signing. We'll go in chronological order. 3 years, $40 million, which is an AAV of $13.3 million per year. $27 million in guaranteed money. He just turned 30 years old, and he was someone who was a reclamation project for the San Francisco 49ers. He obviously started as a Detroit Lion. Things did not go great there. He gets traded to the 49ers and has a really good career. He was a Pro Bowl caliber left guard last year. That's exciting. Adding a Pro Bowl caliber talent to this offensive line on the interior is a must. Their biggest hole was right guard, and yes, that's what he's going to play. And no, I'm not worried about him moving over to right guard because he played right guard in college. Like, let's not blow this out of proportion. It's not like he's never, ever played the position before. He's going to be fine at right guard. And AVT, he's going to be on the left side. But this is a really good signing from Joe Douglas. He missed just one game in 2017, and it was after he was traded. It was not due to injury. So over like the last 5 years, he hasn't missed any time. This guy just plays all the time, which is a bonus because we know injuries just kill this team. It seems like they always come up some way, somehow. So they're getting someone who is just, one, good, and number two, consistently on the field. In 2021, he allowed 2 sacks, 7 hits, 15 hurries, 24 pressures, and he's very good in the run game too. Like, he's kind of just a bully, which the Jets have a type. Let's be honest here on the offensive line. They very clearly have a type, which is something that the Jets value. But think about like what this offensive line could look like. On the left side, Fant, AVT, McGovern, Tomlinson, Becton, or even just flip Becton and Fant if you want to. I think that's going to be a battle, but right now I don't think it's unfair to say Fant has a slight, advantage, but that's maybe something that we can debate over the offseason and into next year. But moral of the story, that's a really improved offensive line. This is a massive upgrade over LDT. It's a humongous upgrade over GVR, like just brutal last year. And like the reason why Mekhi Becton got hurt last year was because of the porous right guard. He got rolled up on because the right guard blew an assignment. So this is humongous. And another thing is we have to obviously talk about the impact on the draft because clearly this is going to have an impact on what the Jets do. I don't think this means the Jets are going to take Evan Neal or Ike Ekwonu if he's there. To me, I think if Kayvon Thibodeau is there at 4, that's the no-brainer answer. They might go Jermaine Johnson. George Karlaftis seems to be falling out of the top 10 at this point, so I'd be surprised, even though that's a player I still really like. Maybe they go Sauce Gardner at 4, but I would be really surprised after this signing if they, go out and draft Ike Ekwonu, because then at that point, who's coming out? What are you doing? I love offensive line depth, but I'm not using a top 4 pick at that point on that position. Again, if the Jets didn't sign a guard, then of course that I think that's a more than fine plan, but they did. They filled this need, and now you can allocate those resources at a different position, at wide receiver maybe, at edge, at corner, wherever. I don't think it's going to be safety, but maybe safety for those who love Kyle Hamilton. But just overall, I'm excited about the Laken Tomlinson acquisition. I think it's going to be a big improvement to offensive line. And hey, life's about making sure that Zach Wilson's going to be okay. And that was the theme for today, is they made sure their young quarterback is going to be in a good position. Up next, Braxton Berrios. Yes, they brought him back. The handsome king, 2 years, $12 million, $6 million AAV. Thank God. People were getting crazy that it was going to be like $8 million for Braxton Berrios. I mean, Christian Kirk got, can we talk about that for a hot second? The money he got? $84 million for Christian Kirk. Jacksonville has gone absolutely mad. And then they give money to Zay Jones. And then they give money to Evan Ingram. Just banana land over in Jacksonville. But that is spending like Mike McCagnon crazy levels. But only $7 million guaranteed for Braxton Berrios. I think this is a great signing. $6 million was my limit. And I think that's more than fair for him. I think it works for both sides. He is your wide receiver 4. He's, 431 yards, 2 touchdowns last year in a rotational kind of role. Huge impact on special teams, obviously, as he's, an all-pro returner. He's comfortable with Zach Wilson. Drops aren't an issue with him. This is a wide receiver 4. And at this point, I think, unless something crazy happens, maybe they sign Allen Robinson, but I think they're adding a wide receiver in the draft. And then you go into next year with your drafted wide receiver, hopefully at pick 10, Elijah Moore, Corey Davis, Braxton Barrios is your top 4, and I think you're in pretty good shape if that's the case. Again, because I'm glad that they got this one done. I was getting worried because I saw reports earlier in the day that the market could be going up towards $8 million, and it's only a 2-year deal at $6 million a pop, essentially, over the 2 years. Like, that's more than fine for a wide receiver 4, and someone who contributes at the level that Braxton does on special teams. Anything more than that's probably pushing it. But $6 million, again, good with it. Good job, Joe Douglas. Next up, Tevin Coleman. And no, we don't know the money on Tevin Coleman, but I don't expect it to be much. $1.1 million over 1 year was his contract last year. I expect it to be probably in a very similar market, and it makes sense. He was really good for the Jets last year. Again, running back 2. 84 carries, 356 yards, which is 4.2 yards per carry. We know he can catch out of the backfield. He knows the system well, and he still has a little bit left in the tank. I still would like to add a day 3 thumper, a bigger body running back who could pick up short yardage. And then I think that really rounds out your running back room, but I like bringing him back. I think it makes a ton of sense. Again, he was steady last year. I was surprised. I thought he was pretty much done, but he was steady. I like him as a running back too. And like I said, just add another running back in the draft. And I think that running back room is almost done. So good stuff there. Love bringing him back. And CJ Uzomah so far is the final piece. Who knows? Maybe when the time I'm recording this, we get another one, which would just be my luck. But 3 years, $24 million, $8 million AAV. The Jets finally have a tight end. Thank you, God. They haven't had a tight end in forever. Probably since Dustin Keller, since they had a legitimate one. So love that. But anyway, 3 years, $24 million. Last year, 493 yards and 5 touchdowns. So essentially 500 yards, which is that jumping off the page? No, but it's steady production. He became a safety blanket for Joe Burrow. And we know how important a young quarterback or having a tight end is for a young quarterback. We saw it, with most of these young quarterbacks who have succeeded, number one. And then with the Jets, the last time they had a good team, their young quarterback's one of their favorite targets was throwing to a tight end. But anyway, the Jets have been awful at tight end for years, and I think they add another tight end in the draft. I don't think they're going to add another tight end through free agency. Supposedly, Uzomah's really good after the catch, which is just adds extra value. He's a fine blocker. He's about 30 years old, which is, again, fine. You need to add some veteran presence in here, but he's a leader. If you've seen the videos circulating on Twitter, he was very much a leader on that Bengals team. And I loved the reaction from the fans. It's from the Bengals fans that I've seen. They were sad to see him go. And they think that he's, a leader on and off the field for them and was steady. Is he a phenomenal tight end? No. But if you pair him with a Trey McBride or a Jeremy Ruckert, that is a really, really nice 1-2 punch. And Uzomah, $8 million is pretty good value comparing, to where some of these other tight ends were signing for crazy money. And your young tight end that you're going to draft in the 2nd or 3rd round isn't going to cost you anything for, the first 3-4 years of his NFL career. So I think it aligns perfectly. And again, they really had to improve. We saw earlier in the year last year, they tried to run 2 tight end sets with Ryan Griffin, Tyler Kroft, Trayvon Wesco, and it just wasn't working because they weren't any good. The Jets, in a perfect world, want to utilize the tight ends. They just didn't have any to use. So this is a really good start. And to round out the video, I think they're going to make a play on safety. Marcus Williams is still available. That's who I would like to see the Jets sign. Quandre Diggs re-signed with the Seahawks, so obviously that's not going to happen. And supposedly they're very interested in Stephon Gilmore, which I think would be surprising if they ended up pulling the trigger. But who knows? Crazier things have happened, and that would, I would assume, be like a 1 year kind of deal, maybe around the $15 million mark or whatever. We'll have to see there. But I expect them to be active. But overall, still a really good, fun day. That's going to do it for me today. I will be back tomorrow with more coverage on free agency. If you tuned into the stream, really appreciated it. We hung out for 3 hours and just reacted to free agency. It was a ton of fun. So appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. I'll talk to you next time.